I'm Brian Feeney. I work in customer success with MeasureQuick and also with ACCA Quality Install Certification Program. My goal ultimately is to help our customers, contractors like yourselves, be successful in what you do every day and help you differentiate and raise the bar for the value you provide your customers. We can all say that we do the best installations, but can we prove it? Now you can. And when we look to drive the market to a better place or the industry to a better place, there's finally the tools to be able to do that, aligning MeasureQuick and ACCA QI or Quality Installation Certification.
Yeah.
Whether it's the verified equipment operation or verified system performance, it really will help our customers perform better in the field, hold their technicians accountable, and delight their homeowner customers to the highest level. It certainly is game changing, in my opinion. Been in this industry almost 30 years. There's nothing like it. And finally, it's providing the right tools and best practices path for them to perform every single day.
Wes Davis, Director of Technical Services at ACCA, and I work with Brian, and we're very excited about this. We believe that this will give quality contractors a way to stand out and a way to identify quality installations. And those are two things we're very excited about, very much wanting to do so that we can recognize quality contractors and identify quality installations.
I think one of the biggest challenges in our industry as a whole is just adopting technology. And when you look at how, utilizing Bluetooth tools for diagnostics and commissioning of HVAC equipment with MeasureQuick, now taking that to the next level and identifying and proving that the installs that contractors are doing are actually to the highest standard, a national standard, right? Finally, there's a national standard that we can all strive towards to really separate the top performers from the mid-level performers. And it really does not require a certain size company to do this either.
No, that's
you,
right.
You could be this one truck operation, still leverage the value of ACCA QI with MeasureQuick and really help set you apart, or even to the largest companies that are looking to standardize on their processes. And really, that's the underlying piece of this as well. This partnership between MeasureQuick and ACCA QI really provides contractors the best means to establish processes and best practices in their business when it comes to installing HVAC equipment. There's a lot of markets throughout North America that struggle. We talk about the skilled labor gap or skilled labor shortage. That's nothing new, right? We're just not doing anything about it. But now we are. And that's really, I would encourage every HVAC company in the market today to be doing this, because it gives you that North Star to strive for. Because I truly feel as an industry that we do want to do good work. But if we rely on 20 different ways to do the same job, there's too much deviation, and who suffers at the end? It's the consumer. And that'll just follow you with bad reviews, callbacks, which are super costly to any business. So if we can eliminate that from day one by utilizing some simple Bluetooth tools, MeasureQuick app, and striving towards ACCA QI, I don't know how you run a better business than that.
So, Brian, I know that change is hard. It's difficult to implement new things or get your techs to implement new things. I know if someone told me I had to learn French tomorrow, that would be a real hill to climb. But if someone told me that by learning this new language, I might meet this young lady who also speaks French, that might be the impetus, right, to make the change. I think it's the same thing. I think it is going to be a process that needs to be implemented. How hard it is depends a lot on every contractor. Everyone's a little different. But I think the payoff at the end, you mentioned callbacks. What a killer. And I don't know if the people listening know what their callback rate is, but if you look at that, if you could drop that in half, and I think with MeasureQuick and ACCA quality installation certificates, you could do that. If not, eliminate it completely. Imagine what that could do to your bottom line.
You bring up a great point there, Wes. And, some of the top users of MeasureQuick, just as an example, are achieving, 1% callback rate. 1%. If you're anywhere above 1%, you're losing, right? And those companies that
Any
are
callback
tracking
you're
it,
losing. But yeah,
yeah, very, very true. The unfortunate part is there's a lot of companies that I meet that don't even know their callback ratio is. And so if you don't know what it is, then start doing the right best practices so that you don't have them anyway. And a lot of the companies that I coach, they're all striving to get on board with Measure Quick and AquaQuality Install because they know it's the right thing to do. I believe it's the way to move this industry forward. And average callback, based on my research, is anywhere between $400 to $1,000 per instance. So if that happens once a day, per day, every week, every year, it's a big number that
killer.
we don't want to do. We don't want to do the math because it'll make you sick to your stomach. You mentioned change earlier, Wes. What we're doing here with Measure Quick and AquaQI is really not much far from the process they're already doing or what they've been taught. What this is actually helping to do is prove that what they've been doing is the right thing, and it becomes even a sales and marketing tool to differentiate themselves from their competition, so it's not a race to the bottom of who has the lowest price. So if
Absolutely.
they're at the kitchen table and they're trying to prove value to the homeowner across 5 estimates, I can guarantee you the Measure Quick and AquaQI contractor is far going to win that job every single time.
We're also building some tools to help them convey that. Sometimes consumers just think that it's like plugging in a refrigerator, and it's not. It's completely different. There are some connections that need to be made: refrigerant, electrical, low voltage, the ducting. But beyond that, the startup process, the commissioning process, very intricate, and the process that we have now streamlines that and makes it a repeatable, I believe was the word you used before. And it lowers the callbacks, which again, killer to your bottom line.
If we get it right on day one, now that the value that homeowner customer gets to have for the rest of the life cycle of that equipment,
Absolutely.
it's invaluable. And that's the thing that we can be doing better as an industry, is to guarantee that the homeowner customer is actually getting what they paid for. Because, many of us have been in this industry a long time, and we've always heard it. It all depends on how it was installed on day one. That's going to dictate the life of the equipment. And, we need to do a better job at it. And using these tools, I was doing a coaching session last week for a client, and they couldn't wait to get started because it wasn't overly different. They already have the basic core knowledge of how an installation should go and the steps it takes, but we had this disconnect of the fact we had 6 technicians doing it 6 different ways. It's not good for the owner of the business. It's not good for the install manager, the service manager. And when you look at Measure Quick's ability to do non-invasive testing after year 1, when we go back to do maintenance on that equipment, we no longer have to gauge up. You can do a lot more non-invasive test, not disrupt the refrigeration circuit, risk the, entering contaminants or moisture into a system. It allows more customer face time, right? So now the technician can actually have a meaningful conversation with the homeowner every time they're out there, provide value, and know that that equipment is running the same way that it was day one. And having that as our North Star to be able to guarantee performance, it's invaluable, not only from day one, but just 10, 12, 15 years later, keep it going.